as you know, we have been meeting a lot of DJs lately, and Mpheshnyk is one of the internationally recognized DJs that we have in Mzansi, and is one of the internationally recognized remixers and producers we have in Mzansi. So Mpheshnyk, how are you, man?
I'm good, my man. How's it?
I'm okay, my man.
Great.
So nice to meet you.
I know, man. It's good to actually finally meet, since we've been social networking and all.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions with regards to Mpheshnyk as a whole.
Yeah.
Where did Mpheshnyk start?
Gosh, like when Mpheshnyk started, actually, it's only like a couple of years ago. Like, I've only known that there has been house music before it even started, because that's where I got inspiration from.
Sure.
But even my name, the name Mpheshnyk, it just came from a friend of mine who actually because at the time I had already known that I actually want to do house music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then I hadn't chosen the name at the time. I was still going through names like DJ Mechanic, all those type of names, But then a friend of mine was Mpheshnyk, he just decided to call me that, just casually. And then the name just immediately stuck to me, like Mpheshnyk kind of has a ring to it, no one else has the name,
It's unique, yeah.
Yeah, it's unique, So I'd rather just use my original name, just that. And just producing house music, I only started 2007 when I attended varsity at Academy of Sound Engineering, So yeah, basically started at a very young age, just loving house music basically, until I got to a point where I just had the opportunity, to learn how to, teach myself as well on how to make music.
Yeah. Well, I'm loving your music, I must say.
Thanks.
So tell us about your experience maybe at the ASE.
The experience there was so incredible actually, getting to meet young guys, and not just getting to meet guys who are already established, but getting to meet young guys who actually who want to get to that point where they actually recognized, with the house music community going on. It was a great experience to meet people like about Ted Jude that are already established right now, to meet people like T Tables, Trans Mixol. I actually met him there, so I would basically went to varsity together, but it was only for a couple of years, but I still keep in contact with them, from time to time, whenever we find time, maybe we meet up when I travel back from home, from Eastern Cape, and then we just randomly meet up, on the way, because we just live around, basically we practically almost live close to each other, even though we're a bit far apart, because Ted Jude is, I think, on the Rotherport side, and I'm on Auckland Park Melville side. Yeah, so we practically see each other almost on a regular basis, But it was a very good experience. ASC has been a tremendous learning curve for me. Not just learning from lecturers, but also learning from guys who getting into the industry and all, It was very good.
It was a good experience.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
It was hectic. It's been very, very hectic.
Well, before you went to ASE, did you have any musical background maybe?
Yeah, man, before even actually starting to produce, because when I actually got to ASE, that's when I actually started, wanting to produce, just to get my hands on a computer and just start doing something, But then I've had a musical background from primary. I attended I attended in all the schools I went to. I attended school choirs, even in the Christian school I went to back at home. We had piano lessons. They even taught us how to play the flute, all those things. So, and I also had influences from my mother as well, and my father, because my mother was into soul music, you know. She would listen to like Womack and Womack, Luther Vandross, you know, Barry White and etc. You know, all those things. But whereas my dad was into like classical music, you know. But this was like very much at a very, very young age, you know, like when I was still like maybe like from six to early teenage stages, you know, like when I started hearing that, you know, like these people actually listen to music. And even my aunt like was also into like choir, into the choir thing, because in our region they had a choir group where they would enter in like different choral competitions, you know, to go and compete with other regions, you know, in different parts of the country. But even then, though, it was quite a good experience having that kind of a music background, because I think at that young age, I think I didn't want to do anything else but just to get into like music itself. Yeah, at the time, yeah. So yeah, that's my influence as well.
Well, before you got into house music, or before you chose to do house music, was there anything maybe that you wished you knew to know before maybe doing house music? Any instrument that you wish you knew before you had gone into house?
I mean, of course, a lot of guys who actually like want to get into the business would actually, I think for most people, the first thing that they want to learn is the piano, because that's the first thing I went for as well, you know. But then I also got into like playing the flute, you know, at a very like young age, like around 15 or 14. And then after that, and even after high school, coming here to Johannesburg, I also started learning how to play the guitar as well, you know. So that's as far as I've gone. But I would even love to know more other instruments, like, you know, playing percussions, playing the drum kit, because that's actually my next step, is to learn how to play the drum kit. Yeah, so I learned how to play the piano, the flute, the guitar, and that's as far as I have gone. But yeah, I would definitely love to learn more about other instruments as well. Yeah.
Well, I know that in 2010 you won a competition with Art Jazz.
Yes.
So tell us more about the experience.
The experience, my man. I'll actually like just go back to the beginning, just briefly, you know, because like the way I found out about the competition was through high school friends. You know, and during the 2010 World Cup, that's when actually like the whole competition started. So I found out about the competition before holidays, after the second semester of 2010 at ASE. So I had gone back home July. I had found out about the competition then, but I hadn't started doing the remix yet. Yeah. So I had heard about the due date, and then I stayed at home for a while until I came back. So as soon as I came back, I did the remix. I think about 3 or 2 weeks before the due date, and then I had handed it in to the SoundCloud account. And the experience there was actually quite interesting, actually, for me, you know, because for people like Ed Jazz just to send their remix parts, you know, to, you know, so that you can creatively to have, to have a creative input within that remix. For me, like, it was quite an experience, man, because I had already listened to like a lot of Jazz archives, for quite some time at that time, you know. So like just doing a remix for him was actually like the most like important thing for me, you know, like, because you know, like, even with the experience, for me, I didn't take it that, you know, seriously. I just wanted to have fun with it, you know what I'm saying? So like I just decided, you know what, let me just enter the competition and then see what it turns out from there, you know. If people don't like it, they don't like it, you know what I'm saying? So I'll understand. But if they like it though, like, it would be a big shock, you know. But then after the competition though, because I hadn't been following much on who were the winners for the competition. And I got an SMS from my friend telling me, "Hey, Brad, did you see the winners for the competition at Jazz Remix competition?" And it's like, "No, your name is there."
Oh my god.
I was just like, okay, I got stuck for a while. I was speechless for a while. I was like, dude, you got to be live. I'm like, okay, Brad, just get me airtime because like I'm at home right now, so I don't have enough airtime to like check what's going on. So he got me airtime, and then I went through my Facebook page, and he's like, "There's at Jazz Day." He tagged me, he added me as a friend. I was like, oh my word, this is actually like like from there onwards, I was like, wow, like this is something very new for me because like it was actually my first time entering like any kind of competition. You know what I'm saying? So for that experience for me, like just it for me it created an expansion to like explore more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, go out there, collaborate with other people as well, not just working alone, because just working alone sometimes you can get, you know, a little bit stuck with creativity, you know. So yeah, that has been like a huge experience for me, and I think it was just a blessing. Yeah, a blessing in disguise. Yeah.
So with regards to that, are there any more projects that we can expect maybe with you and Jazz or with the likes?
Most definitely. I would say most definitely, my man. I mean, like, during this year, I actually planned to go to the music conference in Miami, but then it clashed with everything that I was still doing, like the EPs, you know, that I'm currently busy with at the moment. And so I decided, you know what, let me just try and organize this for next year and see how it goes down, you know. But most definitely, like, I would definitely would love to do something together. As you have already like noticed that he's already done something with Julian Gomez with Overshadow, and now they're busy with a record called what's it called? It's not the Beast the Ghost. That's with Fred Everything. But it's the gift and the curse.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're busy with at the moment. So like, it would be nice to actually like do something like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Just to try something different from someone who has like already got a huge exposure. You know what I'm saying, and someone who already has a huge influence on me. You understand, because like he is my main influence basically in terms of wanting to make music. Yeah.
Oh well, I can say he's my main influence too.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of stuff that actually influenced a lot of people, and his music is quite great, I might say.
And it's actually very, very good, my man. I mean, like, who would have thought like anyone else from the UK would like do a lot of music genres other than just, you know, house music, you know, because he does also lounge, Cuban lounge or hip hop, you know, like, you know, all sorts of music, you know. He does a lot of things, and it would be a great experience, you know, just to do like a lot of different things, you know, with him. Definitely.
Well, coming to you, in terms of your music, your mixing, your productions, how would you describe your music?
I think for me, at the end of the day, music is music. You know, a lot of people want to come up with like a lot of like different sounds. You know, some sounds are the same, some sounds aren't. You know, but then I describe my music as freaky soul, whether it's breakbeat or whether it's just a normal deep house track or a deep tech track or whether it's tribal, you know, or Afro. Let me put it that way, Afro. Whether it's any kind of music, for me, I think I describe my sound as freaky soul because it was actually like a struggle trying to find the sound that I wanted, you know, in terms of just making like Afro and, you know, a deep soulful track and deep tech, you know, all together. So it was quite a struggle in the beginning, but I think right now I've already established the sounds basically that I've wanted for myself, you know, and it's working quite well.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
Well, at some point you worked with a lady by the name of Mpheshnyk Calaza.
Yes,
on a track
Mpheshnyk
called Dream Chaser.
Yeah.
Tell us maybe a little about that track.
Yeah, man, how that track came about, you know, like it's quite weird because my cousin Udineo, I'd actually met up with Dineo like a couple of years ago. We actually, like, me and my other cousin went to visit his dad, and we decided, you know, let's just, you know, go out and just mingle and network with a lot of people. And this is way before like the remix, you know, started, you know. And we had met up with just casually, and she was like, we were like going on with this conversation about the house music and how she wanted to get into the business and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, like I want to get into the business too, you know, like, you know, just like that. And we had only just met up at that time, you know, but from then onwards we had like quite a close communication relationship, sort of, you know, like just to keep up with how we are doing with the productions and all of that. And then we met up after that. We had met up a couple of years later at the ASE campus. I was in studio at the campus and I was busy with the Dream Chaser instrumental, and at the time I had not arranged it yet. So one of the guys that actually attended the classes we were attending actually knew Kaka, so they actually like basically went out with each other casually, and I was surprised to actually meet her there, you know, because like I was busy on this track and she was recording on the other on the other side at the studio. I was like, okay, this is very interesting. Actually, someone else was recording, but Kaka was just there, you know, just to see what the setup is like. So I was just sitting there doing the song, and there she was, like, she just came up. I was like, okay, Kaka, you're here. I'm like, okay, no, cool, man. No, like, come here, man. Like, I want you to listen to something, you know. Like, I'm busy on this track, and I would like to know if you're interested in like putting together something. She listened to the track before I even arranged it. She listened to the track. She liked it there and then immediately, even before I actually finished like trying to figure out what the arrangement is gonna be like. She was like, no, she's very impressed. From then onwards, I just started doing the arrangement on that night. On the spot. I just decided, you know what, let me just finish this track right now and just get it over with, you know. Finished it there and then, gave her the track because we basically lived around the same area with this guy who was attending the classes. So sent her the track. She listened to it. She was like, dude, I'm gonna write lyrics onto this. It's gonna take some time, you know, just to figure out what I'm going to say there. So she wrote the lyrics. In about 3 weeks or so, she was ready to do the recording. Arranged studio bookings and all, went to the studio on the weekend, and at the studio she had the lyrics with her, but she didn't know actually like where the words can fit in with the arrangements, you know, at the time, because she already knew what she wanted like in her head, but she had no idea like where to start and how to end it off. So I just told her, you know what, just relax.